You give galaxies their form and design the pattern of the butterfly wings. You choreograph the paths of stars and listen to the yearnings of our hearts in the quiet of an honest moment. As we gather in this hour, our hearts are full of emotion, and our minds are spinning with a whirl of memories and hopes. With a sense of both relief and celebration, we recognize how quickly time flies and how important each moment can be. Touch our lives this day, O God, and help us to see that although we may not have noticed it, your Spirit has watched over us. Whenever people use their talents and abilities to find creative solutions to human problems, there you are. Whenever two generations find the affection and honesty to learn from each other, then we know something of your presence. Whenever parents have loved their children enough to give them the room to grow and become all that they might be, you are there. And whenever people learn to say goodbye gracefully and start off down new paths with a sense of adventure, your Spirit thrives. As we remember the ways in which you've guided us in the past, O God, help us to be strengthened to go forth from this place, confident that you will help us meet the challenges that lie ahead. And may the spark of your Spirit be kindled in each of us, that our lives may be lived in the light of your presence. Amen.
Welcome to our graduation ceremony. I would like to extend our appreciation from the 1989 graduates of Winchester High School. It seems to me just like yesterday when we came to this place without knowing what to expect of ourselves. But look at the graduates now, 4 years later, all grown up to be young men and women with distinguished character and strong moral principles. All of us may not be as smart, handsome, or beautiful as you parents would like to think of us. But we are proud of ourselves as what we are, because I know that each one of us is the best in our own right. Never in history do I believe any generation has been so exposed to the temptation for self-destruction and defamation as we have been. But we have learned what is right from what is wrong and have been able to overcome the temptation. We have not only gained knowledge and built a solid foundation for further education, but also learned to value morality, ethics, friendship, and compassion. In this perspective, all of you parents are the winners. We may have acted weirdly at times, listened to music which hurt your ears and seemed apathetic and unappreciative to your love. But it was all a part of growing up. We have made lots of mistakes, and I'm sure that we will make more in the future. But we shall try not to make the same mistakes over. However, we must take risks at times to learn new things and attain what we have dreamed and built for. Moms and dads, we have given you many anxious moments, disappointments, and pains to your heart. But you have never stopped loving us and have always been there when we needed you. Thank you for your profound and unselfish love. Without you, we would have never been here today. We would also like to express our sincere appreciation To our wonderful teachers for patiently putting up with us. Let the train go by first. All set. We would like to express our sincere appreciation to our wonderful teachers for patiently putting up with us during the past 4 years of our most difficult adolescent period. Through you, we have not only gained knowledge, but learned to work with others and develop ourselves. We also learned how to overcome difficulties and respect and help others. Thank you for guiding us toward the right direction during the most important years in our lives by building a solid foundation for our future. Not only knowledge, but one's character as well. Thank you and congratulations for a job well done. For the future, we have hope. We have hope since we were able to find our soul in search of the conscience of America. We envision to make our beloved country a place where caring and compassion are expected, not an aberrant surprise, where integrity, ethics, and freedom will not be compromised at any cost. We have a right to live in a country that is caring, compassionate, and concerned about all of its citizens. A place where elderlies can enjoy the fruits of their hard labor without worrying about tomorrow. Where the homeless are housed, the hungry are fed, and the impoverished are given the opportunity to become productive, self-sufficient citizens. We have a vision of having a more cohesive family system where your sons and daughters not only appreciate your love, but can be your best insurance policy for the later part of your life. And we can expect and get the same from our posterity. Is it a dream? If it is a dream, I don't want to be awakened. Let's keep the faith and try harder toward our dream. A faith strong enough to plant an apple tree today, although the world may perish tomorrow. Together, we can build a dream and future for all of us, making this world a better place to live. My dear friends, 1989 graduates of Winchester High School, I do not see graduation as the end of our association, but the incipience of building a stronger friendship, which we have so carefully nurtured throughout the past 4 years together, both in classes and through student activities. We shall meet again and shall be better prepared to help each other whenever necessary. We will prove that our friendship strongly bonded during the past 4 years shall last throughout our lives. We shall show the world that the 1989 graduates of Winchester High School are the best there ever was. We shall bring the highest honor to our school and shall make our parents, teachers, town people, and most of all, ourselves, proud of what we have accomplished. We shall not be blinded by ambition, but achieve the pinnacle of our success with ethics, morality, integrity, love, and compassion. We shall be the best wherever we go. We shall not be a person of insignificance, but the person who is indispensable wherever we go. We shall be a person who makes a mark on history. We shall continue to improve ourselves throughout our lives and shall be the catalyst for the betterment of this world. Don't be afraid to take risks at times. As my father once told me, a boat in a port may be safe, but that is not what it was built for. Don't ever forget your purpose. Sail out and meet the challenges. Learn new things and move us toward the future by overcoming challenges and facilitating new ideas. Finally, I would like to thank every one of you, friends, for your participation in school activities and support during the past 3 years while I was serving you as your class president. I am a firm believer that student activities are the pulse of school life that stimulates one's ideas and enriches school life. I learned a lot from every one of you, and it was a privilege serving you. So long, friends, and may God bless you and be with you in your pursuit. Thank you.
Dr. Mitsakos, Mr. LaRocco, town officials, teachers, parents, and all my classmates and friends, I am honored to speak to you on this special day. As the class of 1989 leaves Winchester High School and we go on our way to the next phase of our lives, we will never forget what our parents, teachers, and school officials have done for us. We are very grateful to all of you. The past 4 years have been a most fulfilling and wonderful learning experience. As president of the Student Union, I speak to you on behalf of the student body and especially the senior class. We all agree that Winchester High School has been a marvelous school and we will all miss it. But now as we go on our separate ways, we will meet many different people from different parts of the country. After college, some of us will eventually settle in different states and possibly some of us in different countries. But we must never forget our past, and we must always remember the happy times we have had at Winchester High School and how fortunate we are to have been able to live here in Winchester. The town of Winchester, as well as other towns, will be faced with a challenge in the next few years. That challenge is to provide the students of this town with the same quality education that we, the class of 1989, have been provided with. We can meet this challenge by everyone in the community working together. It is time for us to give a little something back from all that we have received. The class of 1989 has set an example of what could be accomplished by working together. Under the competent leadership of our class president, Mr. Chris Lee, and the other class officers and classmates, we all work together to raise more funds than any other class in the history of Winchester High School. If everyone works together and gives back to the community a little time, then we will meet this challenge. The town of Winchester is comparatively small in relation to many of our surrounding cities and towns. Yet it is amazing what talent this town has produced. Winchester has had a Heisman Trophy recipient, an astronaut, famous Olympic skaters, famous artists, a well-known photographer, and a former governor and cabinet member. In sports, we won a high school Super Bowl football championship. We had boys and girls soccer teams that won state championships. We have had boys and girls tennis teams that also won state championships. Also, there are many high-ranking executives in the business world today who were raised and schooled in Winchester. It is truly amazing that a town this size can produce so much talent, and this is a tribute to our school system. Let us not end the string of success that has made us famous. Let us continue to bring fame to Winchester. I am quite confident that this class will continue the successes of the past. We, the class of 1989, and the past graduates of Winchester High School should come back and volunteer to help Winchester students. May it be coaching a sports team, helping some of the town's charitable organizations, or maybe just tutoring a student. We must give back something. By doing this, we will meet the challenge of the 90s and bring continued success to this wonderful town. As a final word, I'd like to thank my family, teachers, classmates, and friends for everything they have done for me. I also want to wish my classmates all the best of luck in the future. I feel that everyone here today has a dream that they would like to pursue and accomplish. I'd like to read a short poem which I feel is appropriate in fulfilling our dreams, and the poem is called Dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a broken field, frozen with snow. I feel that if everyone believes in themselves, they can accomplish their dreams. And we, the class of 1989, believe in ourselves, and we will accomplish our dreams and goals. Thank you.
I have the privilege and the distinct pleasure this afternoon as this year's chairman of the Scholarship Committee for the Winchester Scholarship Foundation to announce the award of scholarship assistance totaling close to $50,000 to 21 graduates of the class of 1989. These scholarship grants, supported by the families, friends, and neighbors of these students, will help them finance their next year of education in an institution of higher learning. I'm pleased also to be able to take this opportunity on behalf of the Scholarship Foundation to say a few words of praise, encouragement, and thanks. First, some words of praise. The students who will receive these scholarships are a varied group. In high school, they have participated in a wide range of activities, from athletics to art, from organizing social activities to demonstrating social concern. From here, their paths will continue to be different. Some will attend small colleges, some will become part of great universities, some will pursue intensive career or vocational schooling. Two attributes they have shared, however, have been hard work and a determination to succeed, which have brought them successfully to this day. And for that, they deserve, and they have in abundance, our praise. Which brings me to the words of encouragement that I address to the students themselves. We know you have what it takes to achieve unqualified success in your further education. These scholarships are an expression of this community's confidence in you and in your future. Dare to dream, as Laura has encouraged you, and dare to achieve great things, as Chris has spoken of them. And when you do, none of us will be surprised. And words of thanks. These scholarships do not materialize out of thin air. They are the product of the spirited work of many, many volunteers, without whose energy these awards could not be made. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank them publicly, some of the people who have worked so hard in this effort. First of all, the committee members that served with me in making these awards and doing this happy work, Dan Sirica, Betty Stebbins, and Lou Thompson. I'd like to especially mention our devoted and dedicated president of the Winchester Scholarship Foundation, Nancy Clark, and a particular mention of the invaluable assistance that we've had over the years from Vin LaRocco. He has been an essential part of our deliberations, and we will, without any question, miss his contribution. And on behalf of the Scholarship Foundation, Vin, we wish you every success in the future. In addition, all of us associated with the Scholarship Foundation, and I cannot say this too strongly or too emphatically, all of us are profoundly grateful for the tremendous generosity of the good people of Winchester who support the Scholarship Foundation. To you people, a very truly heartfelt thank you. Finally, one last word. It's the word that echoes today. On behalf of the Scholarship Foundation, to all the graduates of the class of 1989, congratulations and good luck to you all.
Members of the graduating class of 1989, parents, grandparents, relatives, neighbors, friends, distinguished visitors, and Mrs. O'Connell, I knew that God would not let it rain on the class of 1989. At least not at the start of the program. And Reverend Cantrell, that's called being a practical believer. And I've been sitting there the last 10 minutes hoping that I will draw at least 5% of the applause that Chris Lee got. And let me tell you, I believe that you young people are going to go on and do things far better than Chris Lee predicted. Yeah. Now let's... I worry about Chris Lee. This is the third time in the last 5 years that I've had the privilege of speaking to a graduating class of Winchester High School. Ironically, I never got to attend my own graduation. I was a member of the class of 1944, and of course, we were in the very midst of World War II, and during our senior year, we kept dropping off as we left school to join the armed forces in fervor and patriotism. And I think some of us naively thought that life in the trenches might be better than life in the classrooms. It was not so. It was not so. I waited until the end of the indoor track season, and then I joined the Army, along with a close friend of mine. I can't remember but a handful of names of my classmates of that long ago time, but there was one boy named Fred Nashawati who had been on the track team with me, who was an absolute shadow to me in the 1,000-yard run during our last 2 years. He and I joined the Army together, and we went different ways. Fred was sent over to Europe. I was sent down to the Netherlands, West Indies. Fred Nashawati never came back from Europe. He was killed in the Battle of the Bulge. And when I came back, there was a void in my life because I had lost such a close friend. Now, my friends, not one of you is under the duress of going off to war and combat as you leave Winchester High School. How good that is. But please bear in mind that it is not by accident. Peace is something that does not come through accident. It comes through planning. And I hope all of you take time in your daily lives to keep somewhat abreast of what's going on in our world, to be aware of what George Bush accomplished over at the NATO conference last week, and to have a real sense of civil responsibility. Now, I know that you are getting good education, and particularly when we talk about current affairs, I'm aware of the great work that Bill O'Connor has done in the social studies, and I admire the great work that Paul Malloy has brought to Winchester in the global studies program. We have great things going on in our school system, and you people are able to enjoy those benefits. Let me for a moment take you on a surrealistic trip into the future. There is a time when there were two great athletes in the world, mile runners. One of them happened to be an American, a young man named Wildman. And the other happened to be, I didn't know that. The other one happened to be a Russian named Ivanov. And these two fellows were running world records and swapping the world record back and forth between each of them, never having run against one another. Wildman didn't want to go to Russia, and Ivanov didn't want to come over and face that competitor Wildman in America. And finally, someone decided, let's bring these two great milers together and have a race on a neutral track in Geneva, Switzerland. So they had this great track event, and it lived up to its expectations. It was a great pace, and the lead was traded back and forth until the last 150 yards, and at the very, very end, Wildman lunged forward and crossed the tape, the winner. Now we get to the purpose of my anecdote. How was that reported? Well, in America, in the New York Times, and the Boston Globe, and the Winchester Star, and the Woburn Times and Chronicle, it was reported in a very straightforward fashion that in a great race, Wildman was able to nip Ivanov at the tape and win. How was it reported in Pravda? In Pravda, it was reported that in this great international mile race in Geneva, the great Russian runner Ivanov finished second, and the American runner Wildman finished next to last. That's right. That was accurate reporting. It was true. But it was a distortion of the truth. And my friends, we want you to leave Winchester High School and carry with you all that accumulated knowledge that you've been getting in the last 4 years. But we also want you to have a sense of values and a respect for truth, because if you have not got those criteria, then indeed your education has not been complete. And if you do not carry with you some reason, some appreciation, some moral values, then we shall have failed in our mission, and you, unfortunately, will be deprived of being truly educated persons. Now, if you look back to the World War II that I mentioned at the outset here, what were the German people like in the 1940s? They had knowledge, but did they have values? One without the other is possibly more dangerous than not having either of those. I know these are difficult times. I know that they are bewildering times. I have a nephew who during this past year was kicked out of a parochial school for swearing. He was later kicked out of a public school for praying. Now I ask you, what kinds of times are we in? What is a youngster to learn from those two diametrically opposite incidents and the experience that he suffered? From here on out, this is more your world than mine. Some of you will go on to assume great, awesome responsibilities. And I will soon be heading for that great meeting room in the sky where school committee members will wrangle and discuss budgets for eternity. So the world is yours more than mine. And that's, too, something that you must take as a challenge, because it is your challenge. Now, in 1985, I initiated what I hope will be a very long, long tradition at Winchester High School graduations, when I singled out the members of our ABC House who were our graduates that year. I want to continue that and do so now. And we have been fortunate to have two of your class members of the ABC fraternity, and they are, and I want to recognize them and their parents, Chris Chomondole and it's my understanding that Chris's mother, Mrs. Brigman, is on from Chicago for today, and we welcome you here. And I also want to recognize a very staggering accomplishment. Dash Davis has made it through. And Dash's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Larry Davis, are here from New York for this wonderful day. Now let me tell you, parents of Chris and Dash, you have given us, on a temporary basis, your most precious commodity, your sons. And we have tried to do well by you, and they have brought you honor. And you are forever a member of the family of Winchester. And wherever you go, whether it's to Chicago, to New York, or Pango Pango, you're one of us. Let me acknowledge the two host families who took care of Chris and Dash during their years amongst us, Gene and Gretchen Rasek, and Skip and Alice Fuller. What a marvelous contribution that the host families make to this wonderful contribution. I want to now acknowledge that there was one oversight in our program. There was a very modest member of the graduating class, Betsy McClellan, who was scheduled to receive one of the Arts Service Awards. She was unaware that she was supposed to get this and didn't appear at awards night on the 18th, and her name doesn't appear in today's program. But I want to extend an ex post facto round of applause to Betsy McClellan for her achievement. I threw in ex post facto because I want all you kids who struggle through Latin 4 and Honors 4 with Mrs. Lanwet to know that there are times when a knowledge of Latin gives a reward. And let me finish my remarks, and I'm going to quote from President Theodore Roosevelt, because I think this is what this is all about. As you cross this bridge from high school into young adulthood, collegiate studies, and the work career that you face. And Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the person who points out where the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who was actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who at best knows the triumph of high achievements, and who at the worst at least fails while doing greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." My friends, you won't know victory if you don't try. Don't be timid. Go out and do your best and set high standards for yourselves. And as you people in your own vernacular are apt to say, go for it with gusto. Thank you very much.
Before I begin my direct remarks to the graduates, I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the faculty and staff and the community to thank Winchester High School Principal Vincent E. LaRocco for his almost 25 years of service to this community. The last 2 decades as principal of Winchester High School. I'm sure that as students, you've heard a lot about the 70s, and your parents lived through those, and the 80s as very important parts of your lives. Very turbulent times for society and young people, and times that Mr. LaRocco always was able to make the very best of some very difficult situations. And I think you think of some of the programs that you have in place today, they wouldn't have been there without the leadership that Mr. LaRocco has provided. A very strong emphasis on global education and foreign exchange programs, a very strong commitment to a small but outstanding ABC program that you heard Mr. O'Connell talk about, and a very powerful curriculum. We're very grateful to the service that he has provided this community, and we hope that every one of you will travel just a couple of blocks from here next Sunday afternoon, since you'll be the first and the most recent alumni to attend a reception that parents in the community are having for Mr. LaRocco from 3 to 5 at the town hall. It'd be nice if a lot of you turned out and got your friends from other graduating classes to join you, and we'd invite all 10,000 of you to attend as well. It's going to be a great time next Sunday. Vin, thank you very much, and congratulations on a job well done. like to borrow a phrase from one of my favorite performers that my daughter says is no longer popular, Huey Lewis. Remember, he had a song called Back in Time. Well, I'd like you to go back in time for a few moments to a moment and a few moments 13 years ago. Your older brothers and sisters were cheering Sylvester Stallone in his first Rocky movie. Your parents may recall that year being the year of our bicentennial. A few might recall that the journey of Viking 2 occurred during that year, and Viking 2 landed on Mars on September 3rd. But something else was happening on September 3rd right here in Winchester, Massachusetts. At that very moment, here on Earth, your class president was preparing to enter kindergarten in Ms. Richardson's class at the old Lincoln School. And your student union president was meeting Ms. Dolan, her kindergarten teacher, at the Washington School. Laura and Chris, and many of you who've been with us for that 13-year journey, would begin that process that, when you think back to it, has taken up 2/3 of your life. 2/3 of your life has been spent going to school so far in Winchester. But you know something? Since those days, your class has distinguished itself, as Chris has told me on many occasions, as a class with a touch of class. Academically, through your elementary and junior high school years, you consistently scored significantly above national norms on achievement tests. That success has repeated itself, where your class has achieved some of the highest scores in history on the PSATs and on other state and national tests while you've been at Winchester High School. 2 of your classmates were named National Merit Scholars. You've excelled in foreign language, history day, and math league competitions. But you've also reached out to inner city kids as volunteers in the Winchester Roxbury tutoring program, and to the younger people right here in Winchester as key players in our drug and alcohol program. Your classmates, as Laura indicated, were key players on both the boys and girls soccer teams, the tennis teams, and the lacrosse team that have all been Middlesex League champions this year. In these and in all interscholastic sports, I think you distinguished yourselves especially by your exceptional play, but as importantly by your classy conduct both on and off the fields. Several of you captured Boston Globe Scholastic Art Awards for your creative work, while others were chosen to play or sing in state and district music festivals, and some of you will recall as sophomores traveling to Jacksonville, Florida, where you won awards and performed at the Gator Bowl. But the class of 1989 had to be different. They didn't stop there. Many members of the class, members of the chorus and the humanities classes, journeyed to the Soviet Union and were the first American high school students in history to perform in Rachmaninoff Hall at the Moscow Conservatory. Quite an accomplishment, and one that we'll long remember. Well, in the weeks and months ahead, several of you will be joining some of the small businesses and corporations in your first jobs, while others will be going on to the best colleges and universities in the world. And we do expect to hear great things from you. Well, enough about history. I must confess that as your superintendent of schools, I find it difficult not to be avuncular on an occasion such as this. So let me share this little uncle-like little bit of advice with you. It comes from one of my favorite little books called A Whack on the Side of the Head, written by Dr. Roger Von Eyck. Dr. Von Eyck tells the story of a high school teacher who put a small chalk dot on the blackboard in his English classroom. He asked his class what it was. A few seconds went by, and then a student said, "That's a chalk dot on the blackboard." The teacher paused, waiting for additional comments. But he got none because the rest of the class seemed relieved that the obvious had been stated. No one else had anything to say. "I'm surprised at you," the teacher told the class. "I've done the same exercise with kindergarten kids, and they think of 50 different things the chalk mark could be. An owl's eye, the top of a telephone pole, a star, a pebble, a squash bug. They really have their imaginations in high gear." Well, my question to you is, what happens to you and to other young people in the 13 years between kindergarten and the time you become seniors in high school? I think you would agree that at times school has helped you find the right answer, but unfortunately at the same time lose the ability to find more than one answer. During those 13 years, you certainly have learned to be more specific, but in the process may have lost some of your imaginative power. The practice of looking for the one right answer has a great impact on the way you think and solve problems. The French philosopher Émile Chartier put it this way: nothing is more dangerous than an idea when it is the only one you have. Eeyore put it even more simply when he told Winnie the Pooh, things aren't always what they seem to be. Well, Von Eyck, Chartier, and Eeyore challenge us to look beyond the simple solutions and the easy answers to the second right answer. In the months and years ahead, whether at work or at home or school, don't stop with the so-called first right answer in your search for truth, for the solution to a complex problem, or in overcoming personal crises. I challenge each of you to consider the second right answer, or for that matter, the 16th or 17th right answers as well. Congratulations and best wishes to each one of you.
At this time, I would like to recognize the 4 top academic students in the class. Shubadaya. You want to come up, Shubada? Joanna Alexander. Chris Cooper. And Catherine Daggett. You're going to have to listen carefully because this is a long one this year. First of all, I want to just say thank you to all of you for a wonderful year. You've been most cooperative and just a great bunch of kids. Thanks an awful lot. Today is an interesting paradox, as it is the ending of the old and the beginning of something new. My dilemma is whether I speak to the future or to the past, and maybe it should be both. In my situation, it is easy to reminisce about the past, and it has had many wonderful moments. But that doesn't quite make it either. So as I thought about the dilemma, a theme kept reoccurring to me. Well, what would I like to have been told if our roles had been reversed? Is it possible I could have learned from the past and made a better future if only I had known, listened, and put a personal plan into action? As I look back with the perspective experience, I wish someone would have insisted that I learn more about 1, how we make our own mountains that we try to climb. It is important to realize that the barriers in life aren't really mountains at all, but hills that can be dealt with effectively on a day-to-day basis. That while we constantly speak of communicating, we forget that at least 50% of communicating is listening. I wished I had listened more and spoken less. I would have learned earlier to love life for itself and to live each day treating others as I expected to be treated. While it is important at times to take things seriously, it is equally important that we not take ourselves too seriously. Please develop and maintain a sense of humor. Being concerned that the things we worry about are the things that we plan for, and therefore very often don't really require that we continue our worrying about them. The things we should be concerned about are those which we cannot confront and very often happen unexpectedly. Keep in touch with people. Don't make the end of the journey a lonesome one. Let our deeds speak for themselves. Marketing is for automobiles and washing machines. Respect is earned, and it is not something which we market. That we not judge others by our personal standards, even though others may judge us by theirs. Be ethical in your approaches to others, and as you seek your own directions, constantly keep your mind open to new knowledge and new friendships. Take the time to smell the flowers. Our lives will have a fair share of their darker moments, so savor the many moments of beauty that are constantly around us. I ask you to think about the past, for as you do, you will have to think of the future. A future which will allow us to share a few precious moments in time. A time when we will soar with the eagles, with beauty, with grace, and above all with dignity. In closing, I ask you to take my hand so we may share those moments together.
Let a friend push you in to taking drugs. You got a right to say no.
Hello, everybody. Most of you know me as TV 19's comedy magician, but I'd like to take a moment to talk about something serious. You see what this is? It's a driver's license. And to me, it's a privilege. But you know what could happen to a driver's license? It could disappear just like that if you get caught drinking and driving. So remember, when you go out this summer and to party, just take it easy, because there's too much great magic out there for you to miss. And remember one thing that's very important. The life you save may be your own. So whatever you do, please, don't be pushed. Thank you.
Stephen Adizio. Schubert N. Aya. Joanna Laura Alexander. Paul Frank Amico Jr. Jeffrey E. Arsenault. Renee Ann Aswad. Philip Anthony Barber. David D. Beauchamp. Matthew Andreas Benke. Andre Charles Berman. Amy Elizabeth Binding. Sandra Jillian Bassalaris. Court Cronin Belanger. Allison Joan Boyle. Kathleen Claire Boyle. William Bross. Jennifer Lynn Bush. Stephen Joseph Badacavoli. Peter Andrew Byrne. William Francis Carsey, Jr. Albert Lawrence Cale. Lauren Ann Calariso. Jennifer Jean Campbell. Jason Frank Capone. Lisa Christine Carlson. Elaine Caros. Joanna Caros. Stephanie Caros. John Michael Carroll. Sean William Carroll. Joseph Robert Catalano. Denise Jacqueline Chabot. Christopher Ethan Chomley. Douglas Keefe Clark. Jessica Faye Clayton. Catherine Ann Coakley. Christopher Adam Cooper. Lydia T. Cooper. Deirdre Elaine Corkery. Sophia Kunjaris. Paul County. Jeremy Mark Curtin. Frank P. Curtis III. Catherine E. Daggett. Dashun M. Davis. Jennifer Lynn Davis. William S. DiCollegiero. Louis Joseph DeLuca. Philip DeLuca. Thomas David DiCiapari. Jennifer DiPietro. Catherine Patricia Doherty. Raymond Michael Donlin. John Lawrence Doucette III. Craig A. Driscoll. David Benedict Ducharme. Stacy Jean Downey. I'm sorry. Okay, who we have over here now? We got William S. Dusabland. Margaret Brooks Ellis.
Juliet V. Estridge. Heather Ann Evans. Leanna Joy Ewald. Daniel R. Farquharson. Colin W. J. Finn. Edward D. Fitzgerald. Stephen W. Fitzgerald. Sarah Fitzpatrick. Craig T. Flockhart. Elliot David Foley. Raymond Philip Forcina, Jr. Kenneth Fowler. Yep. Evander Scott French. Anthony James Frickland. Robert A. Fuchs. Alexander Fury. Jeffrey Paul Ganji. Jonathan Peter Ganji. William Brian Gannon. Scott Joseph Garvey. Sarah Torrance Gaumer. Farzad Gobadian. Edward Patrick Gill. Joseph W. Gonzalez. John F. Gray. Kai Totten Gray. Jason William Green. Nancy Colleen Green. Carrie Elizabeth Griffith. Edward Paul Hackett. Sean M. Hallisey. Neil Francis Harrington. Richard Foster Haskell, Jr. Isaac Robert Hassan. Shauna M. Hazel. Elizabeth Brennan Herlihy. Martin C. Herlihy. David Bradley Higbee. Kim Frederick Hofnagel. F. Bradley Hurley. Stephen Robert Hughes. Christopher Warren Ives. Dean E. Jackson, Jr. Kristen Marie Johnson. Sarah Lauren Jones. Michael J. Jordan. David Edward Jurowitz. Andrea Lee Kazanjian. Adam F. Keats. Lori T. Keneally. Kathleen Ann Kenny. Andrew James Kerman. Amy Lee Kirk. Cheryl Ann Kirk. Douglas Paul Naus. Jennifer Konash. Jason Eric Kaburski. Jerry V. Keene. Assistant Principal Christine Burke will read the remaining names.
Sean P. Lake. David H. Landry. Sarah May Latanesian. Carolee S. Leahy. Christopher J. Lee. Heather Ann Lynn. Peter A. Lober. Benjamin Hall Lombard. Timothy Michael Looney. Laura Lee Lovering. Kimberly Beth Lovins. Kathleen L. MacArthur. David Joseph McCarthy. Jason Bell McConkey. Alan John McDonald. Brandon Kennedy McNeil. Dawn Nicole Manpa. Maureen Cynthia Maganzini. Thomas Andrew Marr. Howard Kyle Mahoney. Melanie L. Mandrakia. Joanne Lori Mangano. Thomas Gregory Mannion. Janine Joyce Marino. Michael Timothy Marquardt. Paul Townsend Marshall. Kent Katsumi Matsueda. Kimberly Ann McAdams. Jennifer Ann McCarthy. Kimberly Jean McCarthy. Dana Lars McClintock. E. Christine McClintock. Jody McCoy. Robert Joseph McCoy. Cara Aileen McDonough. Daniel James McGee. Michael McGeehan. David Monroe McIntosh. Mary Elizabeth McClellan. Dwight Joseph McMillan. Christopher J. Michike. Frank Anthony Michike. Matthew William Michike. Nicholas Basil Miliaris. Lori Jean Livingston Minetti. Jody Yarbrough Moody. John Joseph Moore. Sharon Mary Moore. Susan Virginia Moore. Brian Douglas Mullen. Jennifer Murray. John Patrick Murray. Kristen Marie Now. Richard Christopher Nazaro. John Bevan O'Callahan. John Gerard O'Callahan. Amy Christine O'Donnell. Daniel Francis O'Grady III. Thomas Gilman O'Grady. John Andrew O'Haron. O'Haron? John Andrew O'Haron. Shelley Olivadotti. Julie Marie Oliveri. Anthony Ferdinand Passioni. Anastasia Palumbo. Brooks Arthur Park. Sabrina Renee Patrick. Mark Lawrence Patty. Lori Lynn Padula. Maureen Pyers. Stephen Matthew Poftak. Jennifer Lynn Polly. Michael H. Polston, Jr. Anthony R. Porter. Tedrick Oliver Potska. Mark Stephen Powers. Cynthia J. Pree. Allison Rebecca Price. Matthew Henry Quill. Timothy Paul Raymeyer. Reginald Sean Reynolds. Adam Andrew Rice. David Vincent Rice. Kevin Michael Riley. Joan Marie Riley. David John Romboli. Brian R. Romer. Matthew Thomas Rotundi. Francisco P. Rubio. William Thomas Ryerson, Jr. Pume S. Samarawira. Mary M. Sampson. Paul D. Sanborn. Makoto Sato. James D. Saunders. Michael Allen Scherniger. Mark Frederick Schwitters. Kelly M. Scott. John Joseph Segota. Julie Ellen Sexony. Andrew E. Show. Terrence Joseph Slater. Stephanie Leanne Smith. David Matthew Snyder. Charles Edward Spencer. Allison Virginia Stackpole. Aaron Duke Stevens. Brian Dennis Strange. Andrew Wheatley Sudbury. Christine Teresa Sullivan. Charles William Swiger. Amy Lynn Thompson. Christine Jean Ty. Laura Ann Taza. Christina Joyce Tringali. Matthew Killian Umshide. Karen Maria Verhagen. Jeremy Walsh. Andrew Ward. Charles Everett Weeks. William Keith Wildman. Martin P. Whittemore. Sarah Grace Wilson. Mark Paul Wynn. Melissa Jill Wood. Tanya Travis Wolcott. Shane Edward Wise. Will everyone please stand for the benediction?
And now, let the scales of old cocoons fall from your sides, and take wings and fly, and learn to fly well, that you might soar, and see the world from new perspective, and return to tell us what you've found, and live fully with courage, creativity, and compassion, as creatures who know this world well and remember your Creator. Amen.